can't really see it. Let's see. I am live. Hi everybody. Francesca here, and I just, just wait a second. Is anyone coming live? And good morning, Europe. I think it's 8 a.m. there. Here in Australia, it's 3 p.m. A beautiful autumn. It's actually still winter here. And I just changed house, and we are working out a few things, but everything is going very well. And I've been inspired from some people of mine telling me, would you like to talk a little bit about your story? I'm like, what do you mean about my story? And about how from, being having a shop in Venice, and then coming across the access consciousness tools and seeing what else was possible for me that I knew was possible, but I didn't actually have really the tools to change a few things and actually to choose greater for me. And from there, and then so it was interesting because most of the time what we think is so normal for us, we don't give a value, right? and and so that's one of the things I've been recognizing since I'm working with access consciousness, and since I'm using the access consciousness tools to acknowledging day by day what my capacity are. The other day I was listening to a class that Gary and Dane facilitated, and was, I think, a couple of years ago, called Art of Creation, that's being facilitated, held in Venice, the city where I come from. Where actually, I remember I was asking a question about the fact that people were telling me that hello Ronit, that I was working a lot, that I was always working, and that things. Sorry guys, probably the birds here are so loud, but I love to be outside because the light is beautiful. Let me know if you don't hear me. Anyway, um, so in that moment, I was very annoyed because everyone was telling me you're working too much, you're always working, you not never have time for me, but it's also from family points of view or from colleagues or for friends. And the thing that disappointed me the most was the fact that why people are judging me if I'm actually loving what I do. And Gary and Dane named this so well because they told me, look, that's not work for you. I'm like, what do you mean with that? That's not work for you because whatever you do, whatever you create, it's fun. Even if it takes 15 hours a day, or doesn't really matter. Like, the job I'm doing and whatever I'm creating, those are priority for me. And if I take care of those priorities, actually make my life easier and more fun. So, and that's the thing. I was like, oh, and it's interesting how you listen to something that you have been talking about. Hi, Mitzi. A couple of years ago, and I didn't even remember the conversation. And one of the things actually Gary and Dane told me, you need to be an allowance of you. Allowance is one of the 5 elements of intimacy. And to explain them, it's really like being constantly an interesting point of view of your point of view. Means as well that, but prioritize the allowance to yourself, with yourself. And because then at that point in the question, I'm like, oh, so I was trying to find a problem to be solved, and the way I was creating, the way I was working, that there were no problems. So funny, because at one point I told him, well, I think I'm always behind. I have the sense that I'm always behind things. And he told me, because probably most of you guys are, whatever you are working is and creating is so fast, right on it. And thank you. You are such a contribution too for me. So what I was, yeah. So we were saying the fact that I was creating, most of us, and if this sounds familiar to you, probably is one, it's you are as well, like creating so fast, there is so much in the future that of course you always will have the sense that you are behind, because it's really much faster than anything else happening around you. Could be a thought, could be a creation, could be finding the solution for a problem. So, and then I finalize the question and say, okay, that's funny, I'm really looking for a problem where a problem is not. So how many times, right, like, I will say, of course, in business, but in different areas of our life, without acknowledging our capacities, we are almost looking for what is not working for us. What is, what are we, what are we not creating enough? What we are not doing well enough, or blah blah blah. So, I will actually would love to give you something today that I'm basically looking at this daily, constantly, never change. And now I have my friend Katerina say, are you busy? I will call you in a second, Katerina, the amazing Katerina Valentin. She just called me. And that instead of looking at and running to do more, what if you take at least 10 minutes a day and asking yourself, okay, what can I be different today that will create greater for me and the planet and everyone around you? Because you know what? When you are creating greater for you, it's not just for you. Everything around you change. Everything around you increase and become greater. As Dr. Dan here, right, in his book, Being You, Changing the World, you get it when you get it, if you get it. And I'm getting it daily, each day even more. And by the way, so I find that I went on these things that just came across for me. But then some people told me, how did you do? What is the right recipe? What have you done? How is possible that now, you from taking care of the bookshop in a class, and then through the years now you are the worldwide coordinator of Access Consciousness, or you are traveling the world. Well, now we are not really traveling the world so much, but still, like, seems that my life is perfect. So first of all, my life is not perfect. What if there is no perfect life or perfect living, but there is just the living and the life you desire to live? And at the same time, I had this 3-part telecourse. Tomorrow is the last one, called Creating Your Different Reality. And in the first 2 calls where we were talking about money first, and the second one was business, tomorrow will be living your different reality. It was so interesting to see as well, like, how we never go to see what's the brilliance, what's the difference would be. That it's the thing that might attract the most. We always like looking at compare each other with someone else or other greatest businesses or greater mother, or what if actually you look at the difference you be, and what if that difference, it's the brilliance that will create a greater life for you. And hi Joy, hello. So, and if I look at in business as well, like when I start, I grew up in a family that had businesses. My mom had an hotel, my dad, I think he changed 100 times work and business, because every time he started getting bored with something, actually every time he became successful in something, he wanted to do something different, because he got bored, and then he wanted to add things. My mom has been this amazing foundation support for all the family, but still like with their own business. And so, and I had my own business for years as well with my ex-partner, but I never really thought that I was good on it. I never ever thought that they knew how, run a business, because I always thought that people that you could call, they were in business, they were the one, you know wearing a suit, the CEO of a big company, or all of that. And when I came across the access consciousness tools, and oh, this is the part two of the previous one, because apparently on my screen they were saying that something was happening, that there was some difficulties or challenges to basically stream the video. But I just checked, and the video was going on with me looking around and see how can I solve it. Anyway, what's right about this? And also look at whatever comes up. What if you don't make a tragedy? And in business all the time I always look at, there will be always someone looking at me. What do I mean? Like, what if I also like make sure that I don't get stressed, I don't get overwhelmed, I don't get annoyed, right? How can you present? I've been working for so many years on hospitality, and with people around the world, also before access consciousness. So the fact as well that you meet a lot of people, and not all the people are nice, right? So, but how can you be with your difference that will change also those annoying people? I was talking yesterday with the hairdresser that she did my hair. Look how cute they are. And she was saying, I love my job. I love, actually. And she was telling me that when she was in quarantine, her family was telling her, you need to stop, you're always working. And I'm like, what were you doing? And I'm like, I was actually researching new hairstyle, researching new product, researching new cuts. But that's fun for me. And I said, I know. And she was telling me something that made me laugh so much, that people sometimes call her friends or whatever there is, like, how are you? Will you have annoying clients today? And she's like, I never had annoying clients. Everyone is different, so it's my choice to actually be annoyed from someone else. And I look at her, I'm like, that's a good point. And even if sometimes people annoyed us, but how much like we can ourselves make another choice to not be annoyed. Because I notice most of the time with you being different, people change, as we say in the previous video. Anyway, I was telling about the fact, before interrupting the previous one, I was actually telling you guys how I didn't know I was actually capable on doing business, and coming across the access consciousness tools, but in particular the Joy of Business tools. I'm so grateful for Simone Milazas, that, by the way, tomorrow here, Dr. Dan here, Gary Douglas and Brendan Watt will start this mentorship program, 4 days. Whoa, what I learned about business from them, it's I know we always say it's beyond this reality, but it's really beyond this reality. So much based on looking what you know and know what is right to do. All the time empowering, they being the four of them, they all the time empowering me to get out of the judgment and really looking at the brilliance of me and looking at the brilliance of others, looking at how consciousness can actually contribute to your choices and your future. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You don't have to create everything by yourself. You don't have to have everything under control. One of the main elements to do business, it's really the fact that if you're willing to receive all the information from all over the world, you will know when is the time to take an action. You will have the awareness when is the moment to do something, or to make a phone call, or to check your email. Like there is this, instead of choosing constantly to be overwhelmed on the on the on the fact that how we have to create. Because if you look at that, when we are overwhelmed, what is that? When we are overwhelmed, like we always trying to find what is the right way to act, what is the right action we need to take. And if you will say there is no right and wrong, if it's the first time you heard about access consciousness, it's really like how going beyond the right or wrong, but making the choice that will create the most. And it's a muscle, guys. It's something that I've been learning, like I've been training myself non stop. I'm keep doing it, and probably it's not a destination. It's something that can always be greater. So, and anyway, they were. How did I start this video for? I want to also, and sorry, when I'm talking with you, I have like had a hundreds conversation going in my mind at the same time, and actually I'm grateful because I learned to at least finish a sentence. Never happened to you that you have 100 conversation in your mind? Thank you, Joy. That you have 100 conversation in your mind and you have the sense that you have been saying them all, but actually not. So, um, so they want to actually, because I have a team, I'm going to also soon starting to have an access business and money class. It's an amazing class. It's 1 day class. It's basically the foundation of joy of business, I will say. It's really where you can create your foundation and changing your paradigms around money and business to create something different for you. And with so many pragmatic tools that I've been using since the last 10 years, that has been the biggest change for me. The fact that even when I didn't have any money, I didn't use any longer money as an excuse to don't create. And what does it mean create? To choose. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what was the destination. I didn't know that in 2020 I will have had here a beautiful view on the Australian Ocean and living here. I didn't know that I was going to travel the world and meeting amazing people and creating within a phenomenal company as Access Consciousness. But one of the things I knew was the energy of the future that I desire. And it doesn't have to be something that you see, that you have to visualize. It's a matter, for me, it was really like something that was like expanding my chest and it was bringing me so much happiness. Hello, Amanda. So much happiness and joy, even if for anyone else around the world didn't make any sense. Because at the beginning, when I start traveling, when I start working with Access Consciousness, I wasn't making money. I wasn't really going somewhere for a money return. But at the same time, guys, I want to ask you a question. How many times it's money that actually will move you and make you wake up in the morning? Money or the joy of living, the joy of being you, the joy of taking your bike for a ride and maybe some ideas will come up? Is it that actually it's the joy of your kids, it's the joy that you have for your husband, your partner, it's the joy for your family, it's the joy for the work you're doing? But is it really for the money or is it for something else? I never woke up in the morning and for the money. Nothing actually. It's funny because I probably have been throwing out of the window in my previous life so much money, and And I don't regret it, because like every choice creates. It's been cool as well, like seeing what I was like before having these tools, before having the clarity on the fact that I don't have to judge myself to be um, to be accepted, and I don't even need to be accepted anymore. So, and I know it probably might make sense or not, but one of the things that a friend of mine, one of the team in my class that is starting on the um, Mondays online, I think it's the beginning of September, if I'm correct. It's not at the 4th, because Simone Milassa is going to have an amazing COP online, and so we chose to have it. Oh well, uh, I think, yeah, I will find out. Don't worry. Sorry. See? How prepared? So what if in your life you don't have to be all prepared, you don't need to have it all right. And you know what? I don't find myself anymore on Facebook now that I was streaming. That's interesting. I don't I feel like um oh well, what else is possible? I really feel like a little bit incapable now, but Facebook changed, and now I don't find it anymore. So, should be here. Oh my lord. That's fun. That's fun. Well, that's hilarious. More than fun. Let me see. I have 700. That's another thing. I have 700 pages open on my laptop. Doesn't ever happen to you. That you to create, you have to have so many things, right? On on your plate. Otherwise, you get tired or you get bored. So, how many times have been judged for that? I was judged for that so many times. I'm like, why you have so many things in place? For what reason are you first choosing to do, for example, ballet, and then you want to do volleyball, and then you want to do this? I'm like, because I get bored and I desire to have new things coming up. Oh, I found the page again. That was hilarious, really. And now I don't remember what I was telling you. Anyway, nothing else. I'm just actually very happy to have done this video with you guys, and maybe I could do a follow-up tomorrow or something else, because there is also like what I was saying at the beginning of the first part of the video was like, what is usually normal for you? You don't give it a value. And a friend of mine always telling me, could you talk a little bit about, you know, being a single mother? Because after I came across the Access Consciousness tool, after a few months, me and my ex-husband, we broke up, and I literally left the house. See, now they are doing renovation. I literally left the house. My daughter was 15 years old, and as I told you, I didn't have any security on my future, but I had so many desires and so many questions. And using constantly the tools of Access Consciousness help me, assist me, contribute to me to change, of course, my money reality, my reality with money, but it's also like my reality we're living. Because money are just money. Money contributes to you to buy new clothes, to be able to send your daughters to school, to be able to, buy things that will contribute to your body and your living. But the happiness and the joy, that's priceless. And I don't want to go the facts, oh well, it's better to be happy and poor. No, why would we choose that? Why would we choose that? And I'm happy that if you want to write down something and say, Frenchie, stop talking about money, I'm like, oh well, it's not even about that. There are so many people that creates amazing things in the world with money, contribute. Like, sometimes I'm wondering, If I will win the lottery, what will I create? Remember, one of the amazing questions at the beginning of Access that, as I told you, I didn't have any money to go to classes or to travel. So I was downloading everything for free. And as now, for example, we have so many videos. Dr. Dane has Tour of Consciousness, and if you go in our best website on the YouTube channel of Access Consciousness, there are so many videos subtitled in tons of languages that will give you tools that if you just watch of that will change your life. And that's what I did. That was the thing. So I was actually using the tools daily. And one of the things I remember at that time, Dr. Dane here say, like, if you could have $1 million in your account every year or every month, every year, what would you create with that? What would you choose? What priority will it be? And I tell you, the things that came up for me, I was like, oh, I'm so materialistic, I need to stop it. And I was judging me, but don't judge you. Whatever comes up, and just play with that. And that's it. So I wish you an amazing day, an amazing afternoon here in Australia. And if you're interested to know more about my Access Business and Money class coming up and my other creation coming up, you can go on Francesca-Fiorentini.com. So enjoy your day, and what question can you be today that will change your reality and our reality? Bye.